Hey guys, what is up? THS is Sinister Kato and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss to what if Deku had Haki part 2. So let's get right into the intro.
That way, yeah. Big Deku get it on Macy Gray. Yeah. Raindrops, drop top, smoking on cooking a hot box. Cookie, fucking on your bitch, you thought.
Sorry that I haven't posted for a while, but I'm back with a new video. So I realized that I accidentally made Deku overpowered than what he should actually be, so I would turn it down a notch. Deku would have advanced armament Haki, but will learn to make it stronger throughout the series. His observation Haki wouldn't be that too powerful. I will make it look like he can see a glimpse of the future, but still can read his opponent's next moves like a book. For his Conqueror's Haki, I will make it to where he can knock civilians that are very weak-minded. Basically Deku is as strong as Luffy and Marineford but more smarter. So without further ado, let's get right into the story. Last video, Deku finished the UA exam first, after destroying the Zero Pointer with all of his might and saving Eureka. Meanwhile, All Might was watching everything with the UA teachers and thought to himself that the kid has potential and spirits, plus his grandfather is one of the greatest hero in history. All Might was thinking that Deku might be a great successor of his powers. A week passed by and Deku got a letter from UA. His mother smiled and told him good luck. When Deku went to his room, he opened the letter and saw All Might popped up, and he said, "Hey there young Midoriya. It is I, All Might. I would like to inform you that you have been accepted to UA. Not only that, you scored a phenomenal 110 points. The rest of the staff and I decided to give you extra points for your courageous act." Deku was not only surprised by this, but he defeated Bakugo, whose quirk was more suited for this test. So back to the main event. A month passed, and it was time for Deku to actually go to UA. He hugged his mum before going to school and thanked his grandfather Rayleigh for everything he taught him. Deku then went to school. When he arrived he was surprised the doors were too big and that he also arrived very early. No one was there except for both Momo and Todoroki. Deku greeted himself and Momo began fangirling him. She was saying that she saw the clip of him saving Eureka by himself and destroying the robot by a single punch. Todoroki seemed interested for a few seconds, but then looked away. Minutes later, people started arriving. Bakugo then arrives, and he and Deku had a nice lovely conversation, but it was ruined by Ida. Basically the same thing happened in canon. Eureka then arrives and saw Deku. She started blush and said that she recognized him. They all started talking and introduced each other like in the anime. Azor then arrived and scared the students. He then told everyone to go and get change for a quirk assessment. The last one to arrive will be expelled. Minutes has passed, and luckily no one was late. Azor then started explaining what will happen. You guys are here to become heroes, and in order for me to provide that, I need to know if you have potential and what your capabilities are. He then turned around and looked at Deku. "Hey Broccoli, come here and throw this ball." The reason to this was because he came first on the exam. "Okay, sure then sir," replied Deku. "What was your record when you were in middle school without using your quirk?" asked Aizawa. "I think it was about 69 meters," smiled Deku. "Now throw this using your quirk and see the difference," sighed Aizawa. Deku then grabbed the ball and turned on his armament Haki on his arm and the ball. He then proceeded to throw the ball with all his might, and it flew over 420 meters. Deku then saw with his observation Haki that it will drop soon. So he then used his Conqueror's Haki to make it jump a little further. It didn't affect the others because he focused it on one way. So seconds later, the ball dropped at 666 meters. It didn't went that far because even though his quirk gave him a bit of super strength and boost, it's still mainly for offense. Then it was Bakugo's turn. The only difference in this timeline is that he got over like 100 meters than the original one. Reason to this is that he has been training with Deku. Deku thought to himself that Bakugo is lucky to have a flashy quirk that was very destructive, but still admired his own quirk better. So for running, Deku learned skywalking like what Sanji can do to go and run faster. He beat Ida. His score was like 2.3 seconds. Now for his jumping, he did the same thing, skywalking. He jumped over the pit and got one of the highest score. So at the end, Deku got onto the top 3 right behind Momo and Todoroki. At the end of the day, Bakugo and Deku are still friends. They both made new friends such as Kirishima, because his quirk is kinda similar to Deku's quirk. Uraraka and Ida are friends with Deku, because they both think he is a great hero, and that he is amazing. So rather than doing the battle trial, I would just go straight to USJ attack. If you're asking why, Deku would just knock Ida and Bakugo out with his Conqueror's Haki and easily win. All Might would also still have his thoughts on Deku as the next successor, because he saw potential on him during the assessment. Now for the USJ arena. By the way, Deku would still have his original costume, but would be improved better, and be suitable to any environment and his quirk, because his family is more richer, because his grandfather is a legend on this timeline. He would also have weapons to protect himself such as knives and a katana maybe. So let's continue. Days later after the first day of UA. Class 1 finally goes to USJ Arena to train to become great heroes. The arena is a great training ground for the students because it has any scenario or environment for their quirks. So anyway, everyone were excited for their trip and even met a hero which was a UA teacher, Pro Hero number 13. Everyone started gathering around her, and Aizawa told them to stop, because they were here to train. "You lot," shouted Aizawa. "We are here to train, and not to fangirl a hero like amateurs. We are here to ready you to the real world and turn you into great heroes. Hey look. They even got fake villains for us to fight," said one of the kids. Everyone started muttering about how true and realistic Aizawa was. Until a portal started appearing behind them, villains started coming out and gathering around ready to ambush the kids. Aizawa looked back and started to panic. Number 13. "Get the kids out of here, we are under attack." Copy that. Number 13 said, "Hey Pikachu. Try calling the police for backup." Aizawa told Kaminari. Unfortunately, the line was destroyed by one of the villains, like everything was planned. Aizawa then looked at the villains coming towards them and tried to take them down. Deku then grabbed Aizawa and told him to move aside and he'll handle everything by himself. Aizawa then said, "Stop it boy. This ain't my first rodeo." Deku then replied, "Same to me old man." He then used his Conqueror's Haki and everything around the arena felt a small wave. Then the villains started dropping down one by one. All of them were knocked unconscious except for the hero side. Shigaraki was watching everything and told his right hand man to go and ambush the kids. Damn it. How did this happen? Kurogori, go and split them up and prepare the final stage. Yes sir. Kurogori replied. We need a change of plans because of that broccoli bastard, shouted Shigaraki. The reason he said this was because Deku literally defeated half of the villains that were prepared to fight the kids. So now the villains need new plans. So let's continue. 13 then orders the Ida to run to UA to tell the teachers there what was happening and get them to come and help. 10 is skeptical, thinking that running back to UA while leaving behind his classmates would be cowardly and disgraceful. After some encouragement from his classmates and 13 telling him to use his quirk to save others, 10 decides to dash back to UA. Kurogori then heard this and tried to stop Ida. He was then pulled away by 13, making them have a brawl and defeating 13. Bakugo and Kirishima also tried to attack Kurogori but failed to do any damage. Then Kurogori tried to use his quirk to split everyone up, but before he could do anything, Deku then punched him on the neck and it somehow managed to hurt him. Deku was telling everyone to run away further where the villain cannot grab them. Deku then told Todoroki if he could trap the guy with his ice. Whilst this was happening, more villains started to appear. Aizawa then jumped down where Shigaraki. Are you sure about that? Hero. Laughed Shigaraki. Aizawa tried to elbow him, but Shigaraki caught it and started to decay the skin off Aizawa. Decided to go and hit Shigaraki. Author's note, Deku can't use the Conqueror's